What's up, everybody? Thanks for dropping in. My name's Dylan, and today we're going to talk about how to deal with a breakup and figure out if you should get back together. I'm going to go through a few quick tips to talk about how to deal with a breakup and figure out when is the right time to get back together with someone else, whether it's the person you broke up with or not. So the first tip I have for you is to take your time with it. So the first tip I have for you is more of a precautionary measure. It's don't get back out there right away. Don't jump back out into dating. Don't try to fill the void with a fling or anything like that. Put down the Bumble. Put down the Tinder. You don't need it. Take time for yourself and figure out what it is you need to do moving on. And if it was your fault, figure out what you need to do better and work on that. The second tip I have is to spend more time with friends and family. Not necessarily use that as a distraction from how you're feeling, although it can certainly help with that, but that would encourage you to not tackle the feelings that you have head on, which I would strongly encourage you do. I say to spend time with friends and family because if you've been with somebody else, then chances are you're not able to spend as much time with your friends and family. So think about how much time you were used to spending with that significant other, and chances are it was probably a lot. So redistribute that time, how you spend it, and see friends that you don't get to see all the time, and spend more time with your family. A third tip I have is to work on yourself. Don't beat yourself up over the breakup, even if it was clearly your fault and you know it was. Don't put a ton of pressure on you, because at the end of the day, it was a two-way street, and there was maybe something that wasn't quite right on your partner's end of the deal. So figure out what exactly you need to do to work on yourself. Is it better communication? Do you need to get better at planning things? Time management? Do you struggle to find time to spend with the other person? There's a bunch of different reasons why a breakup might happen, and a lot of times it might not even be in your control at all. So if you can't really figure out exactly what's going on, then the chemistry might have just not been there. And so, there's a lot of different reasons for a breakup, so don't beat yourself up over it. A fourth tip I have, which is a really big one, is to tackle your feelings head on. Don't let them linger. Don't let them linger because they'll build up and they'll become even tougher to deal with down the road, and that's something that will be in the back of your mind when you're thinking about getting into a new relationship. Figure out how to deal with those feelings right away. Don't push them aside. Please. Seek therapy if you need it. It's a great help, and don't be afraid to do that, even if it's just for a little while to get you back on track. It can be an amazing experience to be able to share your experience with somebody else and get their feedback and figure out exactly how to navigate the situation, and figure out what you need to do moving forward so that maybe you avoid a certain type of person, or you need to improve on yourself and figure out what that is. Therapy can help with all of that, so don't be shy. A fifth thing, this is a big one, back to self-worth. Don't let it define your worth. Don't let that breakup make you feel any less special. One breakup doesn't define who you are, and you should recognize that and use that to figure out, okay. And if you feel that way, then it should be easier to get back out into the whole dating world, because you're less likely to beat yourself up over it and feel like maybe you're not good enough for another relationship. Because I'm telling you, you are good enough for another relationship. You can't let one breakup, or even a few, define who you are. I mean, if you're breaking up with like 10 people, 12 people, then something else needs to change, and maybe that should be a sign that you should work on yourself more. But don't let it define your worth. Be better than the breakup. And the last tip I have for you is to try things that you never did with the other person. If you're going to be doing things that you liked, they're probably going to be things that you did with that significant other at some point, and that can really be triggering and bring up past memories. Try to do something new. If you've never gone rock climbing before, if you've never gone ice skating before, if you've never tried something, like if there was a certain type of food you just stayed away from, that it can be as small as that. Try something different, because you're going to be creating new memories while you're doing that, and it's going to help fade the memory of the other person out of your head. So that's all the tips I have for you today, and this is a very sad video because it is the last in the relationship series, ironically during the week of Valentine's Day. There might be a little Valentine's Day special, I'm not quite sure yet, so stay tuned for that, and be sure to subscribe. I make videos every Wednesday and Saturday, and If you liked this, be sure to leave a like. Do not forget, please. It really helps me out. And subscribe for more content, because I'm going to be moving on to an entirely new series, and I'm extremely excited to start that up, as well as some vlogging, which I mentioned before. So thank you for watching.